Good evening, I'm Alex Crook. You are listening to Talksport 2 on what is a do-or-die night for Northern Ireland when Michael O'Neill walked back into Winter Park in December as a returning hero. He was seen as the man to turn their fortunes around and repeat what he did the first time by leading the boys in green to the Euros. 9 months on, and those hopes are fading quickly. A victory in Slovenia tonight and against Kazakhstan on Sunday will paint a much brighter picture.
Indeed, my heart nearly stopped there. Northern Ireland taking the win on the 90th minute thanks to the returning striker Josh McGuinness heading it in, one of those trademark headers.
It towards the far post, Evans delivers and nods it home.
Having Johnny Evans, you know, at the centre of his defence is going to be massive.
And the header is in. Brilliantly taken goal. It's Cathcart who has stooped on the edge of the 6-yard box from a really well-worked set piece.
Tries to poke it in. Washington back to goal. He scores! Washington has his goal. It's a great finish.
You know, we probably feel a little bit aggrieved that that we don't have more points than we have, but that's the situation that we face at this minute in time.
Yes, Northern Ireland's qualifying campaign has been beset by injury. O'Neill once again without key trio Stephen Davis, Stuart Dallas and Corey Evans, who scored the last time that Northern Ireland were triumphant here in Slovenia. Shane Lavery, Gavin White and Dale Taylor have also been forced to withdraw from the squad. And more bad news as Daniel Ballard, the Sunderland defender, having picked up a knock in that 5-0 victory against Southampton in the Championship at the weekend, is also unavailable. It means Paddy McNair, who has been playing in midfield for much of the qualifying campaign, drops back into defence. At least O'Neill can call upon his experienced captain Johnny Evans, who makes his 102nd international appearance alongside McNair and Kieran Brown. That's the back three in front of Bailey Peacock Farrell in goal, Trey Hume and Matty Kennedy of Kilmarnock at the wing-back, Shay Childs, the exciting teenager from Southampton, and Millwall's George Saville make up midfield, with Isaac Price in behind Dion Charles, the only Northern Ireland player to score during this qualifying campaign so far, alongside the relative rookie Conor McMenamin up front. As for the home side, well, no doubt that Benjamin Šeško of RB Leipzig is the starter. Jan Oblak of Atletico Madrid is in goal. It's a back four of Karnišnik, Brekalo, Bihol and Janza. 4 across midfield as well. Stojanovic, Cherin, Elshnik and Mlakar, with Andres Spora, the Panathinaikos striker, partnering Šeško, who scored twice in 15 minutes in the Bundesliga against Union Berlin at the weekend up front. Those are the two lineups. Jerry Taggart, former Northern Ireland defender, is alongside me on commentary. 3 defeats in a row, Jerry, for Northern Ireland, all by 1 goal. In fact, the most quirky statistic that I found preparing for this game is that Northern Ireland have conceded the same number of goals as Finland, who currently top the group. But unlike Northern Ireland, Finland have scored 10, Northern Ireland just twice. It is that end product, that final third, that's been a real Achilles heel so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes without saying, you know, when you read all the stats, that Northern Ireland have been pretty solid defensively. The performances, and from what I've seen, and I've seen all the games, you know, have been pretty good from Michael O'Neill's side. There's been an uplift since he's come back in for definite. But it's that old adage, you know, if you can't score goals, you don't win games. And unfortunately for Northern Ireland, you know, 3-1-0 defeat says it all.
How much upheaval is it that Paddy McNair, who has been playing in midfield, obviously was a centre-back early in his career, that he's been moved from midfield into defence, because defensively they've been very strong so far?
Yeah, that's right. You know, and Paddy McNair's one of those players that he can near enough play anywhere on the pitch, probably apart from centre forward, and he only has done in the past. He's filled in at full back. As you say, he plays midfield. He's played a holding role in midfield. He's played an attacking role in midfield. He's played centre half. That's where we see him tonight, on the right of the 3, it looks like. So he'll do a really good job. He's a really versatile player, a really good athlete. I like to see him in that attacking midfield role because he drags the team forward with those attacking runs. So it's a big blow that, you know, unfortunately Dan Ballard is out tonight, because that would have given, you know, Michael O'Neill the option to push Paddy McNair into that attacking midfield position and drag Northern Ireland forward and cause the Slovenians a few more issues, and hopefully they're going to cause them anyway tonight.
I think when the team sheets were announced around about, an hour ago, we were both a little bit surprised that neither Josh McGuinness or Connor Washington find themselves in the starting 11. 16 international goals between them. Both were missing from the June internationals when Northern Ireland really did struggle to put the ball in the back of the net. How big a night is it for Conor McMenamin, who until joining St Mirren in the summer had played his whole career in Northern Ireland? Yeah,
that's right. It's a big night for Conor, looking over his shoulder onto the bench and seeing the likes of Connor Washington and Josh McGuinness, who have been stalwarts for Northern Ireland in the past. But he's done well at St Mirren since he's gone in there. I think he started every Premiership game for them in an attacking role. So I'm sure Michael has kept tabs on that. And, he's decided to go with McMenamin this evening after obviously seeing him in the build-up to this game and obviously watching him for his club.
You're quite excited about the teenager Shay Charles in midfield. He's at Southampton now in the Championship. They paid £15 million for his services after just one Premier League appearance at Manchester City. Is he the type of player that could take this game by the scruff of the neck and write his name into Northern Irish folklore?
Yeah, he is. He's a quality player. Now, he was a bit quiet in the last game at home against Kazakhstan, I have to say that. He didn't, after performing really well away in Denmark, I thought he was a standout player. And then he had a bit of a quiet game, but he is the real deal, there's no doubt about it. He plays that role where he picks the ball up, keeps the team moving forward with slick passing, not necessarily long passes, but slick short passes. And again, he's the type of player with a Paddy McNair in front of him, making those forward runs that could find Paddy McNair and cause problems for the Slovenians. So hopefully tonight, with George Saville and Isaac Price, we think playing in that number 10-ish type position, that he will cause him a few problems. He's a busy player, technically very good, but yeah, Shay Charles, and we need a really big game from him this evening.
The Green Army out in force, as always, in Ljubljana, making themselves heard as we hurtle towards kick-off here on Talksport 2. This is the first of a Northern Irish double-header that we have over the course of the next few days. We'll also be with them as they journey to Astana to take on Kazakhstan on Sunday lunchtime. Of course, between now and then, England and their trip to face Ukraine in Poland. That will be live on Talksport on Saturday afternoon. Plenty of League One and League Two action across the weekend as well. Just from a Slovenian perspective, Jerry Taggart, no doubt that Benjamin Šeško, a player who's been regularly linked with Premier League clubs, has scored 6 goals for his country. I mentioned that quick-fire double that he got for RB Leipzig at the weekend. He is going to test this defensive solidity that we've seen so far during the qualifying campaign from the visitors.
Yeah, again, we just spoke about Northern Ireland's defence being pretty solid, but the goals that they have conceded have been defensive mistakes, or the defence have fallen asleep for a split second and allowed the opposition attackers to get in and finish. And so Northern Ireland can't allow that this evening. You've got to go out there and say no mistakes and switch on when you're defending from wide areas or through balls, through passes. That is going to be key this evening. But with Johnny Evans there, then they give themselves the best possible chance.
Well, the teams are in the tunnel ready to come out into the arena. Before that, though, let's get the latest odds with 888 Sport.
Football form focus on Talksport 2 with 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Well, no massive surprise. Slovenia are the odds-on favourites at 10-11 with 888 Sports. If you fancy Northern Ireland to produce what would be seen as a surprise result, they're 4-1 to win, 2-1 the draw. Both teams to score is a 7-5 chance. And in terms of an anytime goal scorer, I've mentioned him already, Benjamin Šeško, 11-5, along with his Slovenian strike partner Andros Spora. Dion Charles, who scored both goals as Northern Ireland beat San Marino 2-0 to pick up their only victory of qualifying so far. He's a 3-1 shot. Conor McMenamin, his partner, 4-1 to get on the score sheet at any time. Those were the latest odds thanks to 888 Sport. 18 plus. Gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org.
Football form focus on Talksport 2 with 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Well, the two teams have emerged from the tunnel. A sea of blue all around the stadium in the Slovenian capital, barring that pocket of green-shirted Northern Ireland fans. And before kick-off we will stand and observe the respective national anthems, starting, of course, with Michael O'Neill's visitors.
Prosim vas, da še naprej stojite in glasno zapojete himno Slovenije.
A very passionate rendition of both national anthems on a huge night in Group C. Two teams with odds seemingly stacked against them in terms of qualification victory, but either, though, would breathe new hope and new expectation, perhaps, particularly with Northern Ireland heading to Kazakhstan at the weekend. Michael O'Neill has set his team a target of 5 wins from their final 6 qualifiers. How big an arse, Jerry Taggart, is that?
Massive. I think, taking into consideration, you've got Denmark playing San Marino tonight, so you're going to expect at the end of this evening's play, Denmark are going to be on 10 points. So that's why this makes this a must-win, or maybe not a must-lose game for Northern Ireland. They have got 3 of their last 4 home games after this 2 group of away games at home in Northern Ireland. But you've got to say Denmark are going to beat San Marino. They must get some kind of result here this evening.
Yeah, we will, of course, keep you up to date with the goals as they go in from that game and the rest of the big Euro 2024 qualifying action here on Talksport 2. Just a reminder of what we've got coming up over the course of the weekend. No Premier League football to bring you, but we are the home of the EFL. We have a double-header here on Talksport 2 on Saturday as Bradford take on Grimsby. Mark Hughes, Bradford, of course, that's a 12:30 kickoff, followed at 3 o'clock by Wrexham against Doncaster. Sure to be a big crowd for that one. England against Ukraine in Poland gets underway at 5 o'clock on Talksport 2. We're back with Northern Ireland in Kazakhstan at 2 o'clock on Sunday here on Talksport 2. Then our attention on Monday night turns to the Welsh as they travel to Latvia. That's a 7:45 kickoff here on Talksport 2. And then old rivalries renewed on Tuesday. Scotland against England. And that will be a 7:45 kickoff at Hampden Park. Adrian Durham hosting, commentary from Jim Proudfoot. And then the former Scotland striker Chris Iwelumo alongside former Three Lions legend Stuart Pearce. That will get feisty in the commentary box, I can promise you that. We are ready for kickoff here in Ljubljana, and it will be Northern Ireland all in green, shooting from left to right in the first half here on Talksport 2. Slovenia in their all-white strip, attacking the goal away to our left. Jerry Taggart, any final words of inspiration for your beloved nation?
I was going to say no, but yeah, listen, just keep it tight. You'll get the opportunities this evening. There may not be many, but you'll get 1 or 2. This is a game that Northern Ireland can get something out of. Be positive in front of the goal.
Be positive. A message from Jerry Taggart. We are off and underway. Straight from the kickoff, Trey Hume couldn't keep the ball in on this right-hand side, and it's out for A Slovenian throw hurled towards the halfway line. Johnny Evans, the Northern Ireland captain, wins the header inside the centre circle as they play the ball forward. It trickles tamely behind for a goal kick. The goal kick to be taken by the very experienced Jan Oblak, regarded for many years now as one of the top goalkeepers in Europe. Plays his club football, of course, with Atletico Madrid. 57 caps and counting this evening for Oblak. He's the Slovenian skipper. As Try Hume, the Sunderland defender, plays it back to Bailey Peacock Farrell, all in blue away to our left. Pitch doesn't look in brilliant condition. One or two patches of mud on display. As McNair sends a long ball forward, and it's headed away by Jakob Bihol, the number 6 for Slovenia. Expectation goes up as Šeško gets his first touch of the evening. Plays the ball out to Stojanovic on the right-hand side. Scoots away from one challenge, but dispossessed by Saville. And back now in the left-back position with Matty Kennedy, who again sends it long upfield. You can see the tactic, Jerry Taggart. They're trying to turn this Slovenian defence at every opportunity.
Yeah, there's been a couple of early long balls, just a little bit worrying. The first one that Paddy McNair just played up, and just there again, they've got to win those 50-50, so drop down balls in the middle of the park, because Slovenia have just won the last two that have dropped into that middle of the pitch, and straight away it's a forward pass after that. They're on the front foot and they're in the Northern Ireland's final third, so it's important that they win them duels in there.
We're grateful there, Northern Ireland, that Jan Mlakar, the winger, who had a brief spell at both Wigan and Queen's Park Rangers in the EFL, was guilty of a heavy first touch because he looked like he had the run on Hume down this right-hand side. In the end, the ball rolled out of play for a goal kick, but here's Šeško, and he knocks it forward to Spora. The flag stays down, he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and it's a nightmare start for Northern Ireland. Andras Spora, within 3 minutes, so simple to get in behind the Northern Ireland defence. And Spora, who scored in the 1-1 draw against Denmark in June, picks out the bottom corner. He gave Peacock Farrell no chance, and is Slovenia 1, Northern Ireland 0. He was comfortably onside.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I just spoke about it seconds ago. Again, it's a ball that's just won by Slovenia. It drops into the middle of the pitch. Shea Charles doesn't win it. Johnny Evans and Paddy McNair are on the back foot. I think it's Chesno just drops it into the path of Spora, who's just run beyond Paddy McNair. And he's in a really good position, just runs round the ball, hits it low and hard into that left-hand corner. As you said, Peacock Farrell, absolutely no chance. And he's definitely onside. So a disastrous start for Northern Ireland. They've got to win them balls in the middle of the park. They've got to compete in there. 3 times on the bounce now, they've lost out in those balls, and it's culminated in a goal for Slovenia.
And was Johnny Evans perhaps guilty of sitting a bit too deep? It was he who played him onside.
Yeah, absolutely. Between him and McNair, obviously, I think Paddy went in to engage when the ball was played forward, but between Johnny Evans, Paddy McNair and Shea Charge, it seemed as if they were all leaving it for each other to try and deal with that ball that just bounced down into the middle of the park. None of the 3 of them dealt with it. I say Slovenia were on the front foot and away.
Just 3 minutes on the clock. Bailey Peacock Farrell, who kept 13 clean sheets in 39 international appearances before tonight, has already had to pick the ball out of the back of the Northern Ireland net. And given that they failed to score in each of their last 3 qualifiers, it already looks a very tall order for Michael O'Neill's men to come from behind and keep those faint hopes of making the plane to Germany alive. I guess the flip side is they've got plenty of time to right the early wrongs.
Yeah, they have, but the one thing you don't want to do is concede an early goal, especially away from home. So it's just going to make it doubly as hard for Northern Ireland to try and get back in this game. It'll be interesting to see actually what Slovenia do now after taking that goal. Do they just sort of rest on the laurels, or are they going to go on the front foot and try and get the second?
Well, they look very dangerous, don't they, every time they come forward. Here's Mlakar looking to play in Šeško. And the Northern Ireland fans were hiding their eyes for a moment, but out comes Peacock Farrell, got there ahead of the Leipzig man. It's played upfield by Paddy McNair. Those of you just joining us here on Talksport 2, 6 minutes gone already. Northern Ireland a goal down in Ljubljana.
And again, Northern Ireland just not dealing with that ball bouncing in between, you know, the middle third and the defensive third. Also, like, you see Mike Roney slapping his hands, and what he's trying to say there is you need to get tight in those areas. They're just not at the minute. You've got the back line have to push up and go and engage.
We've got a throw in here, down by the right corner flag, Northern Ireland. It's taken short, back out to McMenamin. Crosses the ball into the area, headed away by the cluster of white shirts protecting their own 18-yard box. Northern Ireland have it again, though, with Shea Childs out to right and McMenamin again. Trying to run here at Janza. Gets a dangerous ball into the area. What a chance to make it 1-1. And it is 1-1. And it's Isaac Price who's got Northern Ireland right back on level terms. What a start to this game. Brilliant play down the right-hand side. Oblak kept out the first effort, but Isaac Price in the right place at the right time. The price is right for Northern Ireland to tap in from 6 yards and make it 1-1.
Yeah, well followed up by Price after the initial shot, it has to be said. But Conor McMenamin, he's playing on this right-hand side, and he's had the ball twice in quick succession, and the fullback keeps backing off him. On the second occasion, first time he puts a good cross into the box, this time he just plays one low with the outside of his left foot across the face of goal. I think it was it number
it was
30?
Matty Kennedy coming in initially.
Coming, wow, yeah, well done, Matty Kennedy. Then it falls in the path. The keeper makes a save, but all he can do is just palm it out into the path of Isaac Price, who's following it up, makes a good run into the box later on, just follows it up, and it's a bit of a tap in for him, but what a response for Northern Ireland.
Just what Michael O'Neill would have demanded. Behind inside 3 minutes. Back level just 4 minutes later. Isaac Price with his first ever Northern Ireland goal for the Standard Liège man. What a time to get it. Changes the mood amongst those travelling supporters for sure. It's a really good move from Northern Ireland. Really good play, as you've said, Jerry, by McMenamin, who is coming out to this right-hand side. Dion Charles almost playing as a lone striker, with Price and McMenamin in behind. Here comes Slovenia. Could be in for a goal fest tonight when this one started. Janza's been dispossessed by Kennedy. Last touch is off the Slovenian left-back, and it will be a Northern Ireland throw almost level with their own penalty spot. 1-1 the score. What a start on Talksport 2 to this international weekend.
Yeah. Fantastic working back there from McMenamin, doing his defensive duties. Got caught blindsided initially by the run from the left full back of Slovenia, but he's done well to get back onside, calls that. So again, you know, there was question marks before the game about his inclusion in the starting 11, but you know, fair play to Michael O'Neill. He's answered, Conor McMenamin has answered, you know, any critics he might have had before kick-off. He's played a pivotal part in Northern Ireland getting back on equal terms.
Well, they beat San Marino by 2-0. That was Michael O'Neill's first game of this second stint in charge. They've lost each of their last 3. 1-0 Northern Ireland in unfortunate circumstances against Denmark when they had a late equaliser ruled out by VAR. They've got that hoodoo off their back. It's only the 4th goal they've scored in qualifying, but it could be a precious one.
And again, you're talking about quality. When you get in those areas, you want to see good quality. And McMenamin on 2 occasions, good quality into the box, giving the strikers and the forward players a chance.
And as impressive as they've looked going forward, Slovenia, in these first 10 minutes, defensively, they have looked a bit vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you know, I think they were trying to play out from the back, and they've picked the ball up Northern Ireland in the middle of the pitch from a sloppy pass.
And they have it again on the edge of the penalty area. And they're appealing not for 1 foul, but for 2. Saville bundled over initially. Referee from Italy, Marco Guida, tried to play the advantage, then Dion Charles was swept from his feet. This is a free kick just on the edge of the D, right in the centre, within shooting range for Northern Ireland.
As you say, the 2 fouls are first on Saville and then on Charles. Referee in a good position to give that, and this is A1.
This is perfect,
This is A1 position for free kick technician to try and bend one in, because you've got to pick above corners now as well. So obviously it all depends on where All Black decides to set his wall.
All Black with the yellow captain's armband shining brightly against orange goalkeeping jersey. Looks like Matty Kennedy, he too hasn't yet scored for Northern Ireland, is sizing this one up. They've got a player lying down, Slovenia, behind the wall in case he tries to slam it on the ground. Kennedy, McMenamin is the other player showing an interest, but it is going to be Kennedy, right-footed! Oh, and that wasn't far away from finding the top left-hand corner. All Black for a moment was rooted to his spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think All Black's not getting that if it's on target. You can see his reaction. He's rooted to the floor. So disappointing that Kennedy doesn't hit the target.
It's a huge opportunity from that set piece. Peacock Farrell with a good starting position there, got there ahead of Šeško. Looked a real live wire, leading the line for Slovenia. Peacock Farrell now playing over in Denmark for our house, former Burnley goalkeeper. He bowls it out to the edge of the area, and Paddy McNair just using that experience, trying to just slow the tempo. It's all been quite frenetic these first 12 minutes. 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think you can see Slovenia, they're just allowing Evans and McNair. They're not putting a high press on the two centre halves there.
Slovenia unbeaten in their last 5 home games. Like Northern Ireland, only qualified for 1 European Championship. That's a good ball into their penalty area. And McMenamin didn't quite get on the end of it, keeps it in play, puts it back into the 18-yard box over the head of Kennedy, whose delivery initially caused problems. It's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, again, good quality from both sides this time. Kennedy, McMenamin, he just sort of stopped his run slightly. I thought he's got to get into that far post. Maybe just thought he wasn't going to get there. He picks it up, sends another good ball into the box, but Kennedy come into that far post slightly overhit.
Passing the ball confidently here, Northern Ireland, despite conceding the early goal. Here is Mlakar, who's been lively, out to the right, and the goal scorer, Spora. And his cross-come shot deflected behind in the end for a corner. Last touch was off the Northern Ireland captain, Johnny Evans, first corner of the evening.
Yeah, it just shows you the threat to hold Slovenia again. They pick that ball up, middle third of the pitch, but they move it so quickly. As soon as they pick it up, first thought is, can we get forward? The two centre forwards are making forward runs and causing all kinds of issues. So it's good. Slovenia look good when they pick the ball up and try and move it forward quickly.
Coming here then for Northern Ireland from the corner. The Slovenian Ultras bouncing behind the goal. They've gone low this time. Spora got the shot away. Well watched by Hume. And he blocks it behind for another corner. That was straight off the training ground.
Yeah, definitely. Again, you know what? Everybody's waiting for a high ball to come into the box. It's a little low daisy cutter, played back towards the penalty area. Shot comes in, but a good block.
Will they try it again or go more direct? More direct is the answer, and it's nodded comfortably clear by Dion Charles, but one back by Slovenia. Janza, the left back, tries to dink a ball into the air, and he dinks it straight into the arms of Peacock Farrell, who wastes no time in launching outfield, and McMenamin could be in here. And that was a nervous piece of defending in the end by Brekalo. Just about got there, but it wasn't convincing.
Yeah, he backheeled.
Again, it was route one.
Yeah, he backheeled it on the edge of his box. Very, very risky indeed. As you say, route one from Northern Ireland nearly came off.
They come attacking down the left-hand side. Bit of a grapple there involving George Saville and Karnishnik, the right fullback. No foul though, according to referee Guida. And now it's Slovenia's turn to attack. It is like a basketball match at times. McNair there ahead of Šeško, just to cushion the ball back to Peacock Farrell in goal. He's out on the left-hand side now with Kieran Brown in his 17th cap tonight, the Oxford defender. In fact, of this Northern Ireland starting 11, only Johnny Evans, who made his comeback at Manchester United at the weekend, is currently playing in the Premier League. I guess that tells you really the small pool that Michael O'Neill has to fish in.
Yeah, and obviously added to that the amount of injuries that Michael O'Neill has had to deal with, and the quality that comes with those injuries, and which is sadly missing. So he just, as you say, has to just deal with the hand he's been dealt, really, and get on with it.
He's already got national hero status, hasn't he, after leading Northern Ireland to Euro 2016 in France. Didn't really work out for him at club level at Stoke City. He's back here trying to repeat the trick. And I think this is arguably an even more daunting task than the one that he managed to navigate first time around. Northern Ireland fans celebrate as the ball is run cheaply out of play by Stojanovic. Concession of a throw. Last touch was clearly off the Sampdoria man. And then Northern Ireland give possession straight back to Slovenia by way of a throw-in.
Yeah, just a little bit of sloppy play there from Kieran Bryan, trying to back pass to Johnny Evans, just completely gets that one wrong, passes it out for a throw-in.
Slovenia 1, Northern Ireland 1. You're listening to Talksport 2 in the company of Alex Crook and Jerry Taggart, the former Leicester and Northern Ireland defender. A reminder, the 2023 NFL season gets underway tonight. Talksport 2 bringing you more live games than ever before. We'll come back to that because they're in again here, Slovenia. And just like that, they're back in front. Stojanovic with the shot that beat Peacock Farrell at the near post. The goalkeeper frustrated. It came from nowhere. And with 17 minutes gone, Northern Ireland behind for the second time. Stojanovic with his third Slovenian goal. Question mark, Jerry Taggart, certainly about Peacock Farrell, but about the defending as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ball was played forward by one of the Slovenian centre-backs. I think he was just about onside. Stojanovic had the beating of Kieran Brown, and then he fired beyond Peacock Farrell at the near post to make it 2-1.
Yeah, I think, Kieran Brown looks like, well, he was asking for a foul, so was Johnny Evans. Stojanovic, he just cracks on, and it just takes a wicket deflection, doesn't it?
And that beats the keeper, doesn't it? It flicks off the left leg of Johnny Evans, who's had a chastening start to the evening, having played Spoor onside for the first goal. He's now unwittingly diverted the shot from Stojanovic beyond his own keeper.
I think the referee and the assistant need to have a look at that a little bit more, though, with the foul on Bryan. It looked like he was bundled to the floor. Obviously nothing was given.
Well, he's still down, Kieran Brown, receiving treatment. The Northern Ireland fans whistling.
But yeah,
And we wait to see a replay on our monitors. My initial reaction was that Stojanovic was just too strong for Brown. Rather handily, the overseas television producer is showing us the replay of the first goal. We know how that one went in. We're just keen to ascertain if there was a free kick here.
just like to see that, and we're showing you the replay of the Northern Ireland equaliser now.
But you're thinking that maybe Kieran Brown has the right to ask for a free kick?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd like to see it again, bit of slow-mo. So there's no question about the finish. It's a wicket deflection. It looks like he's trying to cross it, Stojanovic. So it comes off the left leg of Johnny Evans, and he's just wrong-footed Peacock Farrell into the back of the net. So a little bit unfortunate for Northern Ireland, but again, Slovenia just shown that when they do go forward, they go forward with a bit of purpose. It was a long diagonal ball to put Stojanovic in the first place.
He's got a lot of pace, haven't they, in that forward line. Not just the two guys up front, but Mlakar's been lively on the left wing, Stojanovic on the right. It's unusual, isn't it, at any level to see a manager adopt a 4-4-2 formation, but it's working for Slovenia so far. 2-1 they lead. And Northern Ireland, having come from behind once already in these opening 20 minutes, are going to have to do it again, and looks like more injury woes because Kieran Brown may not be able to continue. I think he's just fallen over.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just showing the replay in slow-mo. Stojanovic hasn't touched him. It's just unfortunate for him.
Well, looks like his night is over. So yet another player to add to the treatment room. And coming on, 34-year-old Craig Cathcart, who until Tuesday didn't even have a club before signing for Kiev Kortrijk, the only survivor from when Northern Ireland won here 13 years ago. Craig Cathcart, it's a big ask for him now, Jerry.
Yeah, again, question marks over his fitness. What's he been doing while he's been unattached in regards to pre-season? Obviously, the season started, players getting minutes in their legs, but not him.
FC Kortrijk playing Belgium. Cathcart released by Watford at the end of last season. Here in Northern Ireland, 2-1 behind on Talksport 2. Little slip there as Shea Charles plays the ball out to the left-hand side, but he still managed to find Kennedy. Kennedy running it. Karnishnik, his cross is cleared away and collected by Johnny Evans, who I think himself, based on what we saw at the Emirates on Sunday, and he had to come on as a late substitute for Manchester United. And in these first 22 minutes, Johnny Evans looks like a player who's not played much football of late as well.
Yeah, I think, for Johnny, it's all about trying to stay fit. He's obviously going back into Man United as a bit of backup for the centre halves. He's had a lot of niggly injuries over the years, Johnny, even at his time at Leicester.
Here's Charles. Gets the ball back on the edge of the area, and then he lifts his shot high over the crossbar. It was neat interplay between him and the goal scorer Isaac Price initially.
There's been a few of those nice little neat passing moves in that middle of the pitch between Price, Charles. It's encouraging to see. And there you just see Shea Charles get a shot off. Okay, he was in a tight area, but he was still able to get that shot off. Just needed to compose himself a little bit more in that tight area. But encouraging to see those little passing phases come together from Northern Ireland.
We've reached the midway point of the first half. It's absolutely flown by, actually. Chances are plenty. 3 goals already. I think the way the two teams are playing, we're going to see a few more between now and full time. We weren't expecting a goal bonanza, given that Northern Ireland unbeaten in their last 4 against Slovenia, won 3 of those by a goal to nil, the other ended 0-0. It's been a very open affair, much to our enjoyment. I'm not sure Michael O'Neill will be enjoying it much, because Šeško was almost in there, and it's an important intervention by Cathcart, and they've given it away. And it's won back doggedly by Price, the goal scorer.
Again, that ball just dropping in the middle of the pitch. Slovenia first to it, and straight away the 2 centre forwards turning round, trying to stretch Northern Ireland's back line, and almost getting in.
Slovenia 2, Northern Ireland 1. Northern Ireland who go to Kazakhstan on Sunday lunchtime. Remember, live here on Talksport 2. If they lose this game, then by their own manager's admission, they're going to have to win all of their remaining qualifiers to stand any chance of finishing in the top 2 and thereby making it to Germany for next summer's championships. They've shown their powers of recovery once already tonight, falling behind inside 3 minutes. Andres Spora with the early goal for Slovenia, cancelled out 4 minutes later by Isaac Price. But Petar Stojanovic firing home via a deflection off Johnny Evans to put the host back in front. Northern Ireland have actually had more possession so far, 53% of the ball.
It's what you do with it, though, isn't it, when you get it? And I think when you look at Slovenia, very, very direct and they're moving forward. Northern Ireland getting some good little passing phases together in midfield.
Cathcart goes long down the right-hand side this time, flicked on by McMenamin, who out-jumped Jans of the full-back. Cleared away by Jakob Behold of Udinese. And McNair tries to help it back towards the area. Lovely out of play by Jans at the left-back, and Northern Ireland have a throw on this right-hand side, level with the 18-yard line. I imagine this one's going to be hoisted into the area. Another go short, in fact. Charles back out to McNair. Pass was a little bit heavy. McNair did well to keep it in play. And there was a foul committed by Timmy Max Elshnik. He's a name that will be familiar for fans of Derby County, Swindon, Mansfield and Northampton. Just a little bit overzealous in the challenge with George Saville. A free kick here, Jerry Taggart in a dangerous position.
Yeah, and you'd expect George Saville to get up and probably, or McMenamin would get up and probably swing this in. It's on the right-hand side, about 10 yards out from the corner of the 18-yard box. Good position. In these types of areas, you're just trying to land it in between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. Get your big guns.
Looks like it will be Matty Kennedy. He's put his left arm in the air. He's going to play this in right-footed. That was a poor delivery. Headed away by Janza.
It's a Cardinal sin.
Kept him played down the right-hand side by McMenamin. He's got a chance to cross here. Again, it's headed away. 2 crosses in a row that didn't beat the first man.
First man, the Cardinal sin of set piece taken. You have to beat the first man.
Slovenia 2, Northern Ireland 1. 27 minutes played on Talksport 2. Slovenia who opened the campaign with back-to-back wins over Kazakhstan and San Marino. Lost to Finland, then drew 1-1 with Denmark in June. That was a good result. It means the picture for them is that much brighter than for Northern Ireland. Regardless of what happens tonight, if they were to win the game, they could well find themselves in the top 2. That's why it feels like such an important night for both these nations.
Big time. Good pressure alert from McMenamin. This time forcing. Throw in. They've got to just try and keep Slovenia on the back foot here for a few minutes.
Here's an opportunity for McMenamin to cross again. It goes right the way along the 6-yard box. Oblak wasn't convincing. Nobody in green could get on the end of it.
Wow.
It was inviting, wasn't it? Just to be tapped in at the far post.
Great opportunity. McMenamin this time on his right foot as well. Surely he can go either way.
Here's Dion Charles finding Price on the edge of the area. His shot charged down. Shea Charles mops up the loose ball and plays it out to the right to McNair. Good little spell this from Northern Ireland. McMenamin's been dragged to the ground by Janza. It's going to be a free kick just in from this near touchline. Only 5 or 6 yards shy of the penalty area. France lead against the Republic of Ireland in Group B. Chouameni has given the host the lead in the Thierry Henry grudge match, if you like. Also in that group, Holland lead Greece by 1-0. So the 2 big guns in front. No surprise in the other game in this group. Denmark 1, San Marino 0. Finland running out narrow winners against Kazakhstan. They won by 1-0 away from home in the early kickoff. Free kick here for Northern Ireland, trailing by 2-1. Kennedy into the area. McNair came to try and attack it, cleared away as far as Shea Charles, who on the volley fires just over the crossbar. That was good technique from the teenager.
Yeah, good effort. What is he, 25, 30 yards out, something like that? 25 yards, 27 yards. Decides to go first time, full on the volley. Just over the bar.
The UEFA dignitaries, Alexander Seferin, president of UEFA, amongst them enjoying this game. We're enjoying it, I think. Well, maybe you not as much as me.
Well, no, it's a good game. You know, both teams are trying to go out, play their football and trying to go for the win. Nobody's sitting back and trying to soak the pressure.
And Sheshko, one exciting young talent against another. He's tracked by Shea Charles down to the corner flag, and he's done well there, Charles, to usher Sheshko away from goal. Here is Janza down the left-hand side for Slovenia. We go back into the centre circle. Beehole clips it forward, but Cathcart initially wanted Peacock Farrell to come and claim that, then realised he wasn't going to get there and clears himself. McMenamin keeps it in well on this near side under pressure. Charles with clever footwork scoots away from his marker. Here's McMenamin again, trying to float the ball out to that far left touchline. Controlled on the chest by Kennedy. Johnny Evans, the Centurion. It's his brother Corey who got the winner here some 13 years ago. He was talking about that, Johnny Evans, in the build-up to the game. A little foul on Saville. The referee gave himself a few seconds and then awarded the free kick against Adam Cherin, the Panathinaikos midfielder.
It was a good phase of play for Northern Ireland. It was 12, 13 passes in that move before it came to Saville. He gets bundled to the floor. So again, encouraging signs for Northern Ireland.
Into the last 15 minutes of the first half. Slovenia 2, Northern Ireland 1. Euro 2024 in these two sites. Slovenia have failed to qualify for any of the last 5 European Championships. Northern Ireland, of course, were there as recently as 2016. They've got a free kick into the area, which is over the head of everybody in green, and this is where Slovenia have looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Momentum has been fouled, much to the home side's displeasure. It's a free kick 20 yards or so inside Slovenian territory.
Again, he does well there, McManaman. Look at that. Make sure he just shields that ball. It's brought to the down. As you said, there was 3 or 4 Slovenia players galloping forward, trying to nick that ball and go on the counter-attack, but McManaman does well.
Short free kick this time out to the left-hand side. Kennedy with the opportunity maybe to get the ball in. In the end, they tried to keep it down by the corner flag and end up conceding a throw. And there's a bit of a battle already developing between Stojanovic, the scorer of the second Slovenian goal, and McManaman. Certainly neither of them are backing out from any challenges.
If I was Michael O'Neill, I'd be getting the message on, keep giving it to McManaman. He's causing all kinds of problems down the right-hand side at the minute.
Šeško's been dispossessed by Charles. Doing a bit of a man-marking job on Slovenia's star number 11, Charles, in the last 3 or 4 minutes. It's back inside the Northern Ireland half and played out neatly to the left-hand side. Kennedy takes over. Šeško conceding the foul. Another Northern Ireland free kick. He was late there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of fouls conceded by Slovenia. That was, you know, a blatant pullback. He's got to start thinking about showing cards here, the referee.
Here's McManaman. Oh, he's played it through the legs of Janza, and he's into the penalty area, and he tried to drill it across the 6-yard line. And it was clawed away by the goalkeeper, Oblak. And then the loose ball hits McManaman and goes tamely behind for a goal kick. Brilliant play initially. Was he trying to go for goal or pick out Charles, who was flying in the centre? In the end, Oblak did well.
Yeah, the keeper did well in the end. I think, you know, the angle was just so tight for him to try and slip the ball across the face of goal there. But he's got the full-back on toast. And that's what I'm saying. Keep giving him the ball. 1v1 against Janza. That's 5 or 6 times now he's got round the back of the full-back. Just unfortunate, that final ball just couldn't reach its mark.
I had to say, he certainly justified Michael O'Neill's decision to overlook maybe more experienced forward players and in the starting berth. Colin McManaman. Long raking ball forward from B-Hole. Headed away by Cathcart. Slovenia will take the throw in quickly with Mlakar on this near side. Now Janza tries to chip it forward, headed away by McNair. Well kept in by McManaman. Charles, who started well as well. This time gives the ball away rather needlessly. Šeško plays it in field. One back by Saville, who was swept off his feet by Stojankovic. And it will be a free kick for Northern Ireland. Again, you can hear the wolf whistles from the home supporters.
Yeah, it's good working back this time from George Saville. Not something he's known for, I have to say, when he's wearing a Northern Ireland shirt, but great defensive work from him to win the ball back and then draw the free kick. Dangerous position that was as well for Slovenia.
And they did win that game here 13 years ago. Corey Evans with the only goal. It was an inspired keeping performance from the great Mike Taylor. Peacock Farrell looking to follow in those footsteps, but again they've been robbed of possession on the halfway line. Mlakar coming forward, couldn't find Šeško, but still plenty of options for him. Stojanovic into the area, and there is Šeško, but the flag goes up, and Slovenia's joy is short-lived. Again, it was poor play from Northern Ireland Giving the ball away on the halfway line. Stojanovic trying to turn provider, and they're grateful that Šeško are just straight in behind the Northern Ireland back line.
Yeah, it's a right decision. But you're right, I think it was Isaac Price received the ball in midfield, facing his own goal. And all he has to do is lay it off inside to Shea Charles. He tries to be a little bit clever, falls over on this pitch, which I've seen a couple of players do that already.
Yeah, we said
evening.
right at the start, it didn't look in brilliant condition.
Gives the ball away, and again it just sets Slovenia away on the front foot. Ball's in the back of the net, but it is the right decision. Šeško just slightly offside.
He has looked dangerous though, hasn't he? Benjamin Šeško lived up to the top billing so far without being able to get his name on the score sheet. Slovenia leading 2-1 with less than 9 minutes the first half to play, plus whatever the Italian official decides to add on. Northern Ireland have just won their first corner of the evening, conceded by Elshnik under considerable pressure by Price, the goal scorer.
I think it's Kennedy coming across to take this one. Is it? No, it's a short one.
He's come across to take the pass from the corner taker, and he's whipped it in dangerously. Kennedy's in the 6-yard box. Headed away. And Saville knocks it back into the centre circle for McNair to chip it towards the box. Evans was forward, but strong header away. This time by Elshnik.
Again, good quality from McMenamin from that corner, but you've got three of your defensive players, no one attacking the ball, no one making a run. You've got Dion Charles sat in the middle of a goal, just begging for it to find him, but no one's attacking the ball, and that's really important that even before he goes across that ball into the box, somebody needs to make a run across the near post just to put the Slovenian defence off, if nothing more.
2-1 Northern Ireland trail. The Netherlands have doubled their lead against Greece in Group B. They lead 2-0 now. Here is Dion Charles trying to bulldoze his way forward, just a little overzealous at the end according to the referee, and concedes a free kick. Denmark 2 up now on San Marino in this group, and of course they finished Kazakhstan 0, Finland 1 in the early kick-off. So the top two both winning, as you would expect. Question of how many Denmark will score. Of course, goal difference could yet be quite important. So Charles getting a lot of love from the Northern Ireland fans watching and listening. Certainly been a very bright spark in this first half, the Southampton midfielder. This is where they've looked vulnerable though, when Slovenia try and counter. Northern Ireland having had most of the possession. It was a poor ball into the area this time and dealt with by Kennedy. Just overran at times, aren't they, in and around their own penalty area, Northern Ireland?
Yeah, I think they just, as soon as they lose possession, they don't switch on. They're more reactive than proactive. And we've seen umpteen times tonight, Slovenia, as soon as they win that ball, the first thought is, can we get a forward pass? The full-backs push up, give support. Relentless in that, really. And obviously you've got the two centre-forwards making all kinds of different runs. So you've just got to be a little bit more proactive, Northern Ireland, when they lose the ball.
At the moment, Slovenia playing it around inside their own half. As they try and go long, it's one back by Hume. Here's Price, score of the goal to get Northern Ireland back on level terms before they conceded again to trail 2-1. Here's McMenamin into the area again. He's got the beating of the left back. This time his low cross turn behind at the near post by Beehole for a corner. But again, it was a mismatch against Eric Janta, the relatively inexperienced fullback, actually only his third cap tonight. It's telling at times, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm impressed by McMenamin. He is left-footed, but he's got no problem going down the line and putting in crosses with his right foot. So it's just a pure headache for the left back at the minute.
Corner from this near side as we look. The Northern Ireland right-hand side. Cathcart is forward. So too Johnny Evans. Again, it looks a good delivery. Headed away, only as far as Kennedy on the edge of the area. Price scoops it back in towards the 6-yard box. It's dealt with by the white jerseys, and now maybe they can counter-attack. Important clearance upfield by McNair, just as Šeško was bearing down. And it's collected now inside Slovenian territory by Zan Karnišnik. Here's Mlakar moving into the centre circle, trying to stretch the play out with his left-hand side. The pass slightly behind Janza. As it back into the centre of the pitch, where it's collected by Bihal. He's looking for the run of Šeško. Cathcart's header was a little bit tame. And a strong challenge by Trey Hume to win it back, but only temporarily. Šeško trying to get the ball out under his feet, gets the shot away. It's a superb solo goal from Slovenia's star man, and it might just be the goal that takes this game and European Championship qualification away from Northern Ireland. He was so quick to get the ball out from his feet, Šeško, so quick to swivel on the edge of the area, and so quick to fire beyond Peacock Farrell and make it Slovenia 3, Northern Ireland 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a top finish, isn't it? Just what you say, he has to swivel on it. He's got 3 green shirts in front of him, but that doesn't faze him. Low and hard with his left foot. Peacock Farrell, question marks, does it go under him? Can he get a hand to that? Not sure if it's just the pace that beats him, probably not. But again, Northern Ireland guilty of not dealing with it in the first place. Should have cleared the lines, didn't. When you're giving a guy of this quality that opportunity, there's only one outcome. Northern Ireland falling further behind.
He looks a top talent, doesn't he? You can see why Premier League clubs already have Benjamin Šeško very much on their radar.
Yeah, well, again, that is a highly difficult finish to try and pull off. When you're facing your own goal, you've got to swivel, turn and shoot all in one movement, find the bottom of that. You know you're dealing with a bit of class here.
Well, they conceded within 3 minutes of kick-off, Northern Ireland. They conceded with 3 minutes the first half to play. They're going to have to come back from 2 goals down to salvage anything from their trip here to Slovenia. And the prospects of qualification for Germany next summer look even slimmer for Michael O'Neill's men. Despite the fact, Jerry Taggart, that at times we've seen some quite promising play. It's defensively, isn't it, where they've been so vulnerable?
Yeah, and we haven't said that too often. It's been the opposite. You know, the defence has been really tight leading up to this game. It's been the attacking play that's probably let Northern Ireland down the most. But tonight, you know, just on the back foot too much. They're not dealing with problems when they arise. Slovenia, in fairness to them, we spoke about it before, always on the front foot when they're going forward, and Northern Ireland just not capable of dealing with that at the minute, and that's why you see them 3 goals down. Or 3-1 down, should I say.
Anything that Michael O'Neill can do to change this in the second half, change the way the game has flowed, try and make it a little bit more tighter while also posing a threat on the counter?
Yeah, I think there is. I think, you know, you've got a question there, say, the likes of Johnny Evans and Paddy McNair at the back. So you need to be more proactive on the front foot.
Here's Mlakar. Slovenia in the mood here, and they're claiming a handball. I think the referee has been saved from making a difficult decision by the linesman's offside flag. They were convinced, the Slovenian players, that hit an arm inside the Northern Ireland penalty area, but I think he's right, the assistant. Mlakar was offside, and it was handball, you know, against Shea Charles, so maybe a let-off.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it just shows you Slovenia pushing forward, probing all the time. They're 3-1 up. I'm just a little bit overexcited. You know, we've got two players in offside positions this time.
So they've been a lot of fun to watch, Slovenia. Victory for them would keep them on the coattails of Finland and Denmark, the top 2 in the group, as we move into 2 added minutes at the end of this first half, which has been quite the spectacle. with the scores from elsewhere in Europe tonight now. The Netherlands 3, Greece 0 in Group B. France leading the Republic of Ireland by a goal to 0 in that same group. Denmark 3 up on San Marino in the first half of their game in this group. And it's Kazakhstan 0, Finland 1. That's how it finished in Group H earlier today. They've played almost the first of the added minutes at the end of the first half. Before tonight, Jerry Taggart, Northern Ireland had only conceded more than one goal in one of their last 6 matches. Suddenly that stubborn defence has gone out the window in the opening 45 minutes here.
Yeah, but it's been easy to see why, why that's happened. First of all, you've got to credit Slovenia. Their attitude, as I said, when they win the ball or get the ball in the middle of the final third, you've got runners coming from everywhere. Northern Ireland haven't been able to deal with it. But for me, they've been on the back foot too much. They've been too defensive in their defending, if that makes sense. You need to be on the front foot a little bit more when you defend and try and stop it at source and try and win those first contacts. They haven't done that.
Here's Kennedy looking to lead one last Northern Ireland attack. They could get a goal back before half-time. It would set us up for a blockbuster of a second 45. Good ball into the area, but equally well headed away by Brekalo. Then there was a foul by McMenamin. I think that will probably be the last meaningful action of what's been a blood and thunder first half in Ljubljana. The referee does indeed call a halt to proceedings for Northern Ireland off to the worst possible start when Andras Spora put the hosts in front within 3 minutes of kick-off. Isaac Price levelled up 4 minutes later, but they were behind again on 17 minutes when Stojanovic via a Johnny Evans deflection beat Peacock Farrell at his near post. And well, Jerry Taggart was fairly critical of the Northern Ireland goalkeeper as Benjamin Sheshko swivelled inside the penalty area and fired home with 3 minutes of the half to play. What will the make-up be, Jerry, of Michael O'Neill's half-time team talk and words of reflection?
Well, I think going forward there's been some really bright moments for Northern Ireland. Conor McMenamin for me has been the standout player in the first half for them. Keep giving them the ball. I think going forward we need more players making near post runs when the ball is at McMenamin's feet. There hasn't been enough of that either. But basically the biggest problem for Northern Ireland is trying to stop conceding goals in this game in particular, and that's his biggest problem at half-time.
3 attempts on target for Slovenia. They've all resulted in goals.
There you go. It just sort of tells you. But they have, like, they're attacking. The way they go about their attacking game has been really impressive. They don't mess about. First thought in their mind is a forward pass when they win in the middle of the pitch, and they get good support from both full-backs. And it's causing Northern Ireland all kinds of problems at the minute. So that's another issue. And I think when you talk about Johnny Evans, playing in there with McNair, Kieran Brown, slipped for one of the goals. So there's a question mark on how's that happened. Johnny Evans not played a lot of football, can be mistaken for probably being a little bit on the back foot when you're coming up against 2 speed merchants in Sporar and Sheshko. But you've got to deal with those problems as they arrive, and unfortunately for Northern Ireland, they just haven't done that.
And how big a blow the early injury that they suffered. More changes in defence. Craig Cathcart, who we mentioned, was without a club until a week ago. They've got Johnny Evans, 35. He's not played much football. Paddy McNair obviously has been used as a midfielder. That back line has looked vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's difficult, and again, obviously Dan Ballard, having to pull out later on in the squad hasn't helped Michael and his causes. But I say you can see with the goals that they've conceded, they're just showing, one of the first goals, Sporar's first goal. Just a little bit of indecision in there. No communication again for me. And I say those forward runs from the 2 centre forwards in Sheshko and Sporar have just been the undoing all evening for Northern Ireland. Even if they haven't scored, they're still making those willing runs and trying to get into really dangerous positions. Northern Ireland just haven't been able to cope with it.
Well, it looks a monumental task for Michael O'Neill to lead Northern Ireland to Germany next summer before tonight. Looks an even tougher one now at half-time. Can the boys in green produce a miracle second-half recovery? We'll find out very shortly. You're listening to Talksport 2, half-time here. It is Slovenia 3, Northern Ireland 1.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL. Rugby World Cup 2023 on Talksport with Tenor Men. From the lineouts in Lyon.
There's a chance here.
To the scrums in St Etienne. From the drop goals in Saint-Denis.
Steps up right-footed.
To the final touch in Toulouse.
What a way to finish.
Listen to Talksport Breakfast all next week from 6 and get every tackle, turnover and try as the world's rugby elite do battle for the legendary Webb Ellis Cup.
Bulldogs in his way to the line.
Rugby World Cup daily updates on Talksport with Tenor Men. Keep control.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on, with up to 20% off flights. But hurry, our sale won't be around for long. Book now at easyjet.com. Get out there. Selected flights up to the 20th of March 2024. Book by 11 p.m. the 12th of September 2023. Flights one way. T's and C's apply.
Morrison's More Card is your ticket to big savings on big brands with More Card exclusives like any two for £5 on packs of Heroes, Celebrations, Quality Street and Roses, down from $3.50 each. Sign up and start saving today.
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
Majority of stores subject to availability. Morrison's daily varies 300 to 370 grams ends 12th of September.
Seasoned with Szechuan pepper, Himalayan pink salt, fennel seeds. Now my signature touch.
Oh, come on. Who's got the pockets for all that? To give your salt and pepper chicken full-on flavour, just add a Coleman's recipe mix to whatever you're cooking. They're a spice rack in a pack. For great nosh, for less dosh, cook with Coleman's recipe mixes. Full-on flavour.
The Honda HR-V Hybrid is a very good-looking car. So here we are on the radio, where its clean lines can't distract from its other qualities, like its spacious interior. Advanced safety features are standard. Connectivity, oh hang on, are some of you searching online for a picture of it? Okay, it's gorgeous, but you know what? Go to a showroom, see it in person, maybe even test drive it. It's not all about looks. Honda. The power of dreams.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken. The best of White and Jordan.
White versus Jordan. Now with added time.
Simon and I have a different sort of opinion on this, as we do on various things.
When the mics go live, the gloves come off.
That wasn't a proper fight. That was a tune-up.
Oh, no. Come on. Opinionated debate as combat sport.
And most of these teams have underachieved.
Outspoken.
Listen or download for free on the Talksport app.
My goodness, who could argue?
On your phone, on your smart speaker,
or from your favourite podcast portal.
Feel the passions, feel the pride.
Oh, what a finish!
The Euro 2024 qualifiers live on Talksport 2.
Two teams with odds seemingly stacked against them in terms of qualification. Here's Šeško, and he knocks it forward to Spora. The flag stays down, he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And it's a nightmare start for Northern Ireland.
It's it low and hard in the lot left-hand corner. As you said, peacock foul, absolutely no chance. And he's definitely onside. So a disastrous start for Northern Ireland.
Let him in again. Trying to run here at Janza. He gets a dangerous ball into the area. What a chance to make it 1-1. And it is 1-1. And it's Isaac Price who's got Northern Ireland right back on level terms. What a start to this game. Talksport 2 bringing you more live games than ever before. We'll come back to that because they're in again here, Slovenia. And just like that, they're back in front. Stojanovic with the shot that beat Peacock, foul at the near post. Šeško trying to get the ball out from under his feet, gets the shot away. It's a superb solo goal from Slovenia's star man. And it might just be the goal that takes this game and European Championship qualification away from Northern Ireland. Yes, a really difficult first half for Northern Ireland. Full second half commentary to come here on Talksport 2. Just to remind you of what is happening elsewhere around these European Championship qualifiers in Group B. France lead the Republic of Ireland by a goal to nil. Chouameni with the early goal in that game. In the same group, the Netherlands making light work of Greece. They lead by 3 goals to nil. No goals in the two Group E games. Czech Republic nil, Albania nil, Poland nil, the Faroe Islands nil. In Group G it finished Lithuania 2, Montenegro 2, Hungary leading 2-1 away from home against Serbia at half-time in that group. And in the other games in Group H, Kazakhstan 0, Finland 1. That's a full-time result. Finland stay top of Northern Ireland's group. And Denmark, who began the evening in second place, they lead San Marino by 3-0. Second half commentary, as I mentioned, to come from Ljubljana. But away from the football action, we'll be bringing you even more live sport here on Talksport 2 as the NFL returns.
Mahomes looking that way, throwing that way. Kelsey got it. Touchdown. Samuel again looks to use his speed. Deebo Samuel's in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Into a big gain and a first down. Justin Fields, otherworldly.
Cowboys complete it to Pollard in a sprint. Pollard. Touchdown, Dallas.
Barkley runs it into the front of the end zone. The New York Giants are silencing the Packer party here.
Oh my goodness! This is going to be 98 yards to Gabe Davis.
Hang on to your hats, everybody.
Yes, the 2023 NFL season gets underway in the early hours of Friday morning. We'll have commentary of the opening game of the season as the Detroit Lions face the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, from 1 a.m. here on Talksport 2. And on Talksport 2 every Sunday from 5 p.m. join Nat Coombs and Will Gavin for the best coverage anywhere on radio, with exclusive interviews and top analysis throughout the NFL season. On Saturday, Talksport will bring you more Euro 2024 qualifying action as England take on Ukraine. Ahead of the game, Talksport's England correspondent Faye Carruthers sat down with left-back Ben Chilwell.
Ben, back with England. Does it feel like a little bit of respite, bearing in mind the glare of the Premier League and the early start of the season?
Yeah, of course. It's always good to come away with the England squad, and yeah, obviously it's nice change of scenery and good to see the boys. You know, of course I wasn't there in the summer, so it's nice to be back.
You were there in March though for that 2-0 victory over Ukraine, and it was clean sheet. You played a full 90 minutes as well. What do you remember about that game, and what are you looking forward to, and what threats are Ukraine going to pose out in Poland?
I mean, of course, it was a good game in the end. We got the 2-0 win and a clean sheet, which is very important. You know, we're very focused on making sure that defensively we're strong, because we know how good we are attacking. So defensively, it was nice to get the clean sheet in that game, and you know, we know that they're a very, very strong team that are very passionate at the moment, and the players are playing with a lot of passion. And you know, we know we're going to play against them in Poland, and it's going to be a tough game. They've got a lot of good players, so you know, we're expecting a hard game. But you know, of course, we're going there with the hope to get a similar result to Wembley.
Yeah, and that pretty much will seal qualification. It kind of feels like we're there already with Euro 2024 in mind. You've had so many injury problems when it's come to major tournaments and things. How desperate are you to get to Germany?
Of course, like you said there, missed the World Cup, was at the Euros, didn't play. So of course, you know, Germany in the summer's, you know, something I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully I can have a great season with Chelsea and with England, and you know, that can put me in good stead, and can hopefully then go out to Germany and hopefully do well.
Reece James is another player you know very well from club and country, who's also had his injury problems. Every single time we see you play together, which is few and far between, it's almost like you play tag team injury at the moment. How desperate are you to get that combination of both of you back together?
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone likes to talk about how strong we are as a team at Chelsea when me and Reece are playing together. So, of course, we'd love to play more matches together, and trust me, we're trying. So, yeah, you know, we're trying, and hopefully Reece will be back in the next few weeks, and we can then push on. You know, I'm feeling good physically, so hopefully when Reece is back, we can push on and touch wood, you know, be fit for the remainder of the season.
That was the England left-back Ben Chilwell looking ahead to Ukraine against England. The first of two live England games over the coming days. They take on Ukraine at 5 o'clock in a Euro 2024 qualifier on Saturday. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, your team for that one. And then they take on Scotland as well next Tuesday night. That will be live also on Talksport with a 7:45 kickoff. And we've got both Scotland and England represented in the commentary box. Chris Iwelumo, former Scotland striker, will be sparring, I'm sure, with Stuart Pearce himself. So a big few days to come for the Three Lions, and all the build-up to that game, of course, will be here on Talksport 2 and on Talksport over the next 48, 72 hours. Still to come here on Talksport 2 tonight. We had the second half of the game involving Northern Ireland and Slovenia. Northern Ireland 3-1 down, Jerry Taggart. Would you imagine that Michael O'Neill might go to his bench this early?
Probably not. I think, Dion Charles has caused a few issues, did well for a goal, making a near post run. Would like to see a little bit more of that in the second half. But he has got the option earlier bringing on Josh McGuinness. Whether or not he changed the formation slightly, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not saying he has to throw caution to the wind here, but he just needs to come up with something a little bit different to try and, get over the goal line. At least, hopefully at least one more time, if not a couple, because we said before this game, it's a must not lose, and at the minute they're losing it, and they're losing it by 2 goals, so he has to think of a way to try and get 2 goals back in the second half, and it may well come down to, going to his bench, but whether or not he does it at the beginning, we'll have to wait and see.
Will there be any thought of damage limitation, bearing in mind that he said they needed 5 wins from 6 games before this one, or will it just be go for broke to try and get back in it in the second half?
Yeah, well, this is the issue you've got, isn't it? Because, as I said, does he throw caution to the wind and say that, there's an answer for you might as well get beat 6 or 7 and try and get something out of the game by being attacking? So for me, he's got to find that balance. He's got to have a word with his back line and even a couple of his midfielders here, because they've been partly at fault for not winning those contacts in midfield, those dropping balls in midfield. They haven't won it, especially led to the first goal. And as you can just see, Northern Ireland are making a sub already.
Well, we asked the question, and it's Connor Washington who is coming on in place of Matty Kennedy for the second half. Connor Washington, who missed the June internationals. In fact, it's a double change because Josh McGuinness, who also missed those June games, is on as well. He's replaced Dion Charles. 2 players, Jerry Taggart, that we thought might start the match, are now on.
Yeah, absolutely. It just shows you the intent that Michael's got at the beginning of the second half. He knows he needs goals. He knows he needs even more attacking threat. He's got the quality from both sides, from Kennedy on the left and McMenamin on the right. He just needs players in the box to try and put those chances away.
I wonder if it might be a slight change in formation for the second half. We are off and 1 away here on Talksport 2. Northern Ireland 3-1 down at the break. We'll try and get a picture of exactly how they're lining up in this second half.
Getting Johnny Evans just a bit late. And Sheshko, good leap in the air from him.
It's been a battle that Northern Ireland have come out second best on, isn't it? The front 2 for Slovenia against that ageing back line.
Yeah, they've struggled, he has to say, tonight, Northern Ireland defensively. Credit to the 2 centre forwards for Slovenia. They've been a real breath of fresh air, you have to say.
Well, no change in terms of the back 3 for Northern Ireland. Peacock Farrell in goal, McNair, Cathcart, Evans in front of him, Hume, Shea Charles, Saville and Kennedy making up the midfield now. And those changes that have been made in attack, with McGuinness partnering Washington up front. Would you expect Michael O'Neill to continue encouraging his side to play the ball forward?
Yeah, I think
Route 1 style.
Yeah, well, I think when McGuinness on the pitch, you've got that option. But as I spoke about in the first half, there was some really nice, phases of play put together from Northern Ireland in the midfield. It's all about when you get towards the edge of the final third, you need that quality there.
Here they come on the counter-attack. Slovenia, they've been content to do that because Northern Ireland actually had the better share of possession in the first half. We've got a delay here because there's a Slovenian player down. It's Andras Spora, scorer of the early goal in the first half, who is just feeling his right ankle.
You won't hear me moan about that. Hopefully he's all right, but not okay. because he has been one of the standout players for Slovenia in that first half.
He was just caught from behind by Charles. I think too malicious. We played 3 minutes in the second half. They were behind at this stage the first half, Northern Ireland, but it remains 3-1. If they could get a goal back within the next 15 minutes, that would give them a platform, wouldn't it? But it's a yellow card here for a really strong challenge from the goalscorer Isaac Price. Certainly one that Janza felt the force of, Jerry.
Yeah, just a little bit there, Isaac Price. He was never winning that ball. You could see from about 2 or 3 yards out, he's just made a lunge for the ball. He was never getting there. Janza clears the ball up the line as Price takes him out, and you can have no surprises there that the referees pulled out a card.
First yellow card of the game, isn't it, I think? Yeah. It's gone the way of the Northern Ireland goal scorer, and you can see actually he's got a big rip in his sock there. He's
cleaned him out. He's took him off his feet. Price. Fair play to him. I didn't realise he had that in him, but that was a scything challenge from the young fella. He's more famed for his technical play.
He's still down in need of treatment. Eric Janza, as I mentioned in the first half, hasn't played too many games of his country. He actually had a pretty difficult first period up against McMenamin, raiding down the Northern Ireland right. They're back underway in France as well. France leading the Republic by 0-0. Netherlands 3-0 up against Greece in that same group, and we're keeping an eye on Denmark, who are 3-0 up at half-time against San Marino. We've just seen an image, Jerry Taggart, the VAR check that took place to check that Šeško was onside when he scored that third goal at the end of the first half. It was quite tight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but he was onside. I was more worried about the amount of touches he had while he was facing his own goal on the edge of the box. 3 Northern Ireland players round him, none of them closing him down, trying to get a challenge in there, until he's actually about to shoot. And by that time, it's too late.
Well, we played 5 minutes in the second half, but we haven't really, because it's been a very stop-start nature to proceedings. That will suit Slovenia as they try and see out the win. Here's Šeško down the left-hand side. He's got a chance to cross Spora's in the centre. Šeško toying with Cathcart. Little back heel. Spora against the bar from 2 yards. Wow. Well, that's a massive let-off for Northern Ireland. Brilliant play by Šeško. Toying with Cathcart on the byline. Then it was Mlakar who drilled the cross back, and how on earth did Spora not score from point-blank range?
Yeah, it was a fantastic bit of play there from Slovenia. As you say, Šeško just playing games with Craig Cathcart. Cheeky little back heel, and the ball comes flying in from the byline onto the right foot of Spora. You think, how can he miss that? And I think it's just the pace doesn't allow him just to, set his right foot into a position where he can get a nice clean strike on that ball.
Worrying signs at the start of the second half for Northern Ireland, though. Šeško with the ball into the area, only half away by Johnny Evans, who's looked really rusty at times tonight, the captain. Still they come forward, Slovenia, with Karnišnik down the right. A fourth goal and it really would be game over, and they're scenting blood here, the home side. Šeško with a little flick over his head. Spora tries to cushion it down inside the area, but that will be collected easily by Peacock Farrell, the keeper. Were you surprised that Matty Kennedy was one of those taken off at half-time?
I thought he did okay. I thought his quality at times was good, and as I say, if you're going to bring Josh McGuinness off, then you need quality from the wide areas, and I know McMenamin supplied it in abundance from the right-hand side, but I thought Kennedy, he looks as like, he's got a purpose about him when he was getting down that left-hand side. So maybe a little bit, but as I say, he needs goals, and I think Washington and McGuinness always play well when they're alongside each other.
53 minutes gone, Slovenia 3, Northern Ireland 1, as it was at half-time. Not too many signs here on Talksport 2 of Northern Ireland getting back into it. Slovenia have come closest to extending the scores with that effort against the bar from Spora. Guinness was just caught late there by Bihol, so they have a free kick inside Slovenian territory.
Again, just a lovely little bit of link up between Washington. It was a little over. Ball goes into Washington. He runs over the top of it, into the feet of McGuinness. He spins to go down the line, Washington, and that's when McGuinness gets fouled. So good little bit of link up play between them two.
Shay Charles, who stands over the free kick. Now it's going to be clipped into the area. Not a brilliant header away, brought down by Johnny Evans. He could get a shot off here. Evans deflected and in. And Northern Ireland do hit back early in the second half from an unlikely source. Well, his brother Corey was the match winner here 13 years ago, and Johnny Evans may just have got Northern Ireland back in the hunt for a point here. It took a massive deflection after a limp header away initially by Karnishnik, but fortune favours the brave, and the ball spins away from Oblak and into the corner, and it's Slovenia 3, Northern Ireland 2.
Talk about a cultured finish. Okay, it takes a deflection on the way in, but the way he brought it down, I'm going to rename him Johnny Happy Feet Evans. I mean, he controlled it with the outside of his left foot to bring the ball down mid-air. Then he steps from his left onto his right, selling the defender, complete dummy, gets it out of his, on his right foot, has a shot deflected and into the top corner. Unbelievable skill from Johnny Evans, though.
What a game this is turning out to be, a 5-goal thriller, and we've only played 55 minutes. This always finishes 1-0 or 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to start, and Michael O'Neill would have wanted, probably, you know, not the source of a goal that he would have expected in Johnny Evans, and the way he scored it. I mean, fantastic bit of skill from Johnny Evans. The way he's pulled it down and finished it off. Quality.
You do wonder now how costly that miss from Spora could be from a Slovenian perspective. Big difference between 4-1 and 3-2.
Yeah, again, it's how both teams respond to that goal now. You know, I think at the beginning of the second half, Slovenia were actually finding it a bit too easy to get forward.
Yeah, with a header away, as Slovenia look to go long outfield. Here's Shay Charles, who's certainly enhancing his reputation in midfield tonight. Plays it forward, looking for Washington. But nervously clear by Bihol. I mean, both teams defensively have been all at sea, haven't they? It's made for brilliant entertainment. And look, they've been carved open again, Northern Ireland. Spora, one-on-one, rounds the goalkeeper. And no mistake this time, he has his second. Slovenia have their fourth. And no sooner had Johnny Evans got Northern Ireland back into the game, the home side go 2 goals clear again. Spora at the double. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know what Trey Hume's thinking of. You can see him here, you can see the run of it. He just gets blindsided, not watching. Spora's in an inside right position. Trey Hume's about 10 yards inside that. He can't see where he is, basically, and then Sport decides to make an inside run, completely bamboozles Trey Hume. Lovely little through ball to find his feet. And then it's one touch to take it round Peacock Farrell, another one just to slide it into an empty net. But again, it just shows you the vulnerability of that backline for Northern Ireland. Just got themselves back into the game and then concede a really soft goal from maybe 1, 2, 3 passes, you know, at the most from Slovenia, and they're through the back line and the ball's in the back of the net. This could be an 8-goal thriller by the time we're finished.
So frustrating though, isn't it, for Michael O'Neill? Johnny Evans equalises on 53 minutes. Spora straight up the other end, scores his second on 56. How do you legislate for that as a manager?
So, don't get me wrong, it's great movement from Spora, but young Trey Hume, he just doesn't open his body. He's facing the crowd on that right-hand side, and he can't see where Spora is, and he can't see the timing of his run. He just needs to step back a little bit, open himself out, and give himself a chance to track that run of Spora. Because he doesn't, the goal just looks all too simple for Slovenia.
Shay Charles has just picked up a yellow card, clipping the heels of Elshnik, who I think knew what he was doing running across the Northern Ireland midfielder. I mean, from an attacking point of view, this is probably just about as well as Northern Ireland have played since Michael O'Neill returned, but defensively, all 4 goals I think he'll be very frustrated with.
Yeah, I think, you know, he'll be picking holes out of all 4 of them. Again, you've got to credit Slovenia somewhat in regards to the movement, the durability of their centre forwards, but defensively, you know, they're not difficult situations to deal with. They just haven't done that.
Good ball in by Washington, just over the head there of McGuinness at the far post. He picked up the ball in the left wing position, Washington, and whipped in a teasing delivery. Oblak just having a word with the Slovenian defence as his side have a goal kick. Michael O'Neill trying to cajole his players. We've played 59 minutes. It's Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2 here on Talksport 2, and what's been a really entertaining night for the neutral. France have now doubled their lead against the Republic of Ireland. In Paris, Marcus Thuram, whose dad, of course, won the World Cup and the Euros for France, and has got that second goal, looking difficult for the Republic now. Still Denmark 3, San Marino 0 in the other game in this group, which is not good news for Northern Ireland. And they will have 5 games to save themselves after this one. They're going to need to win all 5, according to what Michael O'Neill said before kick-off tonight. He also picked out a victory in Hungary in 2014 for motivation as to what can happen to change the course of a qualifying campaign. They went on to make it all the way to France. Doesn't look as if history is going to repeat itself here, though. Here's Washington down the left-hand side for Northern Ireland. Running it, Brekalo into the area, and in the end Brekalo slides in and concedes a corner.
Yeah, it's good defending in the end for Brekalo. Connor Washington has just got one thing in his mind when he receives that pass from Saville. Just kind of push it and kind of get past the big defender, using his pace. Brekalo just comes across, times his challenge well, but concedes the corner.
That corner will be taken by McMenamin. Do have a bit more height now in this side with McGuinness and Washington on at the break. McGuinness whips a left-footed delivery into the area, headed down by McGuinness and then volleyed away by Karnishnik.
I'll tell you what, that's a great area to head that ball back down to. Somebody has to be there. It's well done from Josh McGuinness. Not a difficult header to get quality, you know, and put it into an area where you think someone should be.
Hume with the ball forward, flicked on this time by McGuinness. But McMenamin's been fouled. Referee, I think, wanted to play an advantage. In fact, he just didn't see an infringement. Here comes Slovenia on the counter. Stojanovic. Again, they seem to have white shirts available every time they attack. Spora out to his left-hand side. Mlakar finds Spora again. Hat-trick hunting. Opportunity maybe to get a cross in here from Janzar towards the far post. Did Stojanovic keep it in play? No, he didn't. It's behind for a goal kick for Northern Ireland. But again, they have runners over there, Slovenia.
Yeah, again, just seeing the frailties that Northern Ireland defence have. At will, basically, when they win the ball back, Slovenia, they're just coming forward at will and they're getting into the final third, causing all kinds of problems. Thankfully, this time that cross was overhit and Northern Ireland dealt with it quite easily. But it just seems the game's sort of bypassing the midfield and it's going from one defensive third straight to the attacking third of the pitch.
It's not the type of game we anticipate at all, is it?
Absolutely. So, you know, it's a bit all over the place in regards to the formations.
I thought one goal either way might just win it tonight. Might be the odd goal in 9 as opposed to the odd goal in 1. Because we've still got almost, well, we'll have half an hour, won't we, with the time added on. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2 here. Stojanovic out the right-hand side where Karnishnik has made the Overlapping run here, Stojanovic again. Toe poke forward by Cherin. And then as Elshnik tried to float the pass out the left-hand side, it was headed out by McMenamin for a throw. Not seen quite as much of Conor McMenamin in this second half since those alterations that were made by Michael O'Neill at the break.
Yeah, they need to try and get him back in the game quickly. Because you say it's all right having Washington and McGuinness on the pitch, but they thrive on service and they thrive on quality. You know, he's been the one player in the Northern Ireland team from that first half that had, you know, the quality and the service to, you know, to put the Slovenian backline under severe pressure. It just hasn't happened as much in the second half.
Another change here for Northern Ireland. Ali McCann, the Preston midfielder, is coming on in place of Isaac Price, scorer of the equalising goal very early in the first half. So the third change of the night from Michael O'Neill. We have 26 minutes plus added time to play.
Just got to try and get into the game as quick as he can. Good technician. Some nice little touches, but I suppose it's one of those situations when you're coming on as a sub with 20 odd minutes, you have to try and affect the game as much as you can and as quickly as you can.
Here's Evans wearing the captain's armband for Northern Ireland. His goal looked to have given them hope early in this second half, but quickly that hope was extinguished as Spora, almost straight from the restart, scored his second and Slovenia's fourth to give us this 4-2 scoreline. Shea Charles with the chip forward, and McCann, having just come on, has got room to run into over on that right-hand side. Here's Charles again, just outside the box. Clever footwork from him. And then rolled out to Saville on this left-hand side. They've got plenty of bodies in the centre, and that was a really important header by Brekalo at the near post, just as McGuinness and Washington were lurking.
Great ball in from Saville. Just want to see McGuinness making that run a little bit earlier.
Shea Charles has had an excellent game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got lovely feet, hasn't he? He's got great awareness of where other players are, even the opposition defenders. Just seeing that cross again. Yeah, it's a good header from Brekalo.
It was going to fall right into the path of McGuinness just to head home and make it 4-3. Offside flag here up against McMenamin. So a free kick for Slovenia. And a chance for the home side just to slow the tempo down. It's been played at breakneck speed, almost right from the start of the game.
So showed real gusto going forward, Slovenia, you have to say. You know, and quality as well, that's the thing. You know, it's all right, you know, committing players forward into the final third, but you have to have that quality, that composure to finish these moves off, and that's one thing they've definitely had this evening.
Not the first Northern Ireland offside of the evening. Free kick play forward by Slovenia, but grappling just inside Northern Irish territory. Saville claims he was bundled over by Stojanovic. Not sure the officials agree. He's very combative, isn't he? The right winger for Slovenia. In the end, it was just a throw for Northern Ireland. Bailey Peacock-Farrell comes a long way outside his penalty area, and in the end just rolls his studs over the ball and allows Cathcart to take over. Here's Evans. It's been a whirlwind week for him, hasn't it? Coming on for his second Manchester United debut on Sunday in that 3-1 defeat at Arsenal, winning his 102nd cap tonight and marking it with a goal.
You won't forget that one either. It's for sure. Deflection or no deflection. I mean,
the calmness with which he found the space to get the shot away, wasn't it?
Unreal.
That's the final quarter of the game. Northern Ireland need 2 goals to salvage a draw here. Free kick given away by Johnny Evans. Just got too tight with Spora. Had arms wrapped around the 2-goal Slovenian striker, and that free kick has been taken very quickly. Here comes Kalnišnik down the right. Stojanovic takes over, plays a good ball into the area. That was a chance for Spora, chasing that treble. Just seemed to jump too early and in the end headed the ball wide.
Yeah, it's a good leap. It's a good time run as well. You know, he doesn't get into the box too early. As you say, whether he's jumped too early or it was just a bit too much on that cross in. But again, it just shows, you know, the field is too easy. With 2 men over down that right-hand side, 2v1, no issues getting the ball into the box. In fairness, you know, you've got Cathcart and Evans, but they've struggled as well early this evening. The Slovenian centre forwards have won, I would say, probably 90% of all the aerial battles tonight. So it's another part of the game where Northern Ireland just haven't been able to cope with what Slovenia have going forward.
And fans making quite the atmosphere now. They've only lost one of their last 10 in all competitions, Slovenia. It's always a stiff task for Northern Ireland to end that run, given the number of players unavailable due to injury. Can't say they haven't attacked the game defensively. They've looked liable to concede every time Slovenia have really asked any questions in the final third.
I think that's one of the pleasing things about this evening. We've seen a game where both teams are trying to attack, trying to score goals. Northern Ireland haven't come here to try and soak the pressure up and hit them on the counter-attack. So the goals aside, I think overall, you know, the performance up until this point has been pretty decent from Northern Ireland. It's just the mistakes at the back, the indecision, the lack of communication, whatever you want to call it, you know, it's cost them dearly.
We'd love to see Michael O'Neill lead Northern Ireland to the European Championships. They were a brilliant addition back in 2016, but I think he's realistic enough to know that looks unlikely in a group that includes Denmark and Finland, 2 teams who played at the last Euros.
Yeah, I think going back to when he did qualify for Euro 2016, you know, he was a manager there for 2 years, I think, and he had a struggle in his first 2 years as manager, and I think there may be a similar pathway for a second step.
I was going to ask you that. Is this going to be a gradual process again?
I think so. I think he's realistic, Michael. He's nobody's fool, that is for sure. He's a clever guy. He knows the score. He knows what he's got at his disposal. He knows what's coming through, so he's just got to bide his time. He has to be patient along with everybody else, and hopefully that in the next cycle, which is obviously the World Cup, and he's got a squad that can go out and really compete at the highest level of the group stages.
And we know there'll be more teams than ever before at that World Cup. That's so it. More opportunity for the likes of Northern Ireland, maybe. Down inside the area goes Washington, gets straight back to his feet after the challenge from Karnisnik. No question of him looking for a penalty. Here now is McMenamin on the edge of the area. Got green shirts available in the centre. Instead he plays it out to Childs, and here's McNair now in the right wing position. It's a bit of a fish out of water. In the end he settles for the throw.
Didn't know whether to stick or twist, did he? Paddy had the ball at his feet and he's thinking, what shall I do? And the Slovenian defender just says, okay then, if you're not going to do anything, I'll just step in and play it off you for a throw-in.
Actually, yeah, the last touch was off McNair as well, so all very unsatisfactory from a Northern Ireland perspective. McNair, another of the long servers from this team in green. And again, if they could get a goal in the next 5 or 10 minutes, plenty of time.
Yeah, I think
to get a second.
I think it's important that they carry on in this vein, and not say forget about the game defensively. I'm not saying that, but they've got to try and pile as much pressure, just for a bit of confidence going into the game on Sunday against Kazakhstan. Which will be another game that they'll feel they can get something out of.
Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2, for those of you just tuning into our coverage here on Talksport 2. No change in the scores elsewhere. Denmark still 3-0 up on San Marino in this group. Finland beat Kazakhstan in Astana 1-0 earlier today. That won't be easy for Northern Ireland on Sunday either. That game live here on Talksport 2. France 2, the Republic 0 in Group B, and the Netherlands lead Greece by 3 goals to in that group. Czech Republic 1, Albania 1. Maybe a bit of a surprise scoreline, and Poland being held at home by the Faroe Islands with 23 minutes to go in Group E.
I've been there before, believe you me.
No easy games in international football. It's a cliche, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Northern Ireland, when the favourites are when they sort of struggle a little bit, and they've always tended to struggle against the minnows.
Only 18 minutes to play.
Quality, as far as Northern Ireland is concerned, it's just gone out of the game. It's a bit up and underish, high ball, because McGuinness, Washington come on the pace. They've sort of just lost their way in regards to the build-up play. The passing hasn't been as slick. Whether or not that's just because they've decided to throw a little bit of caution to the wind.
Yeah, Maklar has been replaced by Yasmin Kurtic, the former Atalanta midfielder, for the last 16 and a half minutes. First Slovenian change of the evening. They must have used plenty of energy as well.
Cathcart, you just see he's down on the floor. Don't know what the issue it is, but...
Well, we mentioned it, didn't we, that he'd been training alone all summer, having been released by Watford. Only found the new team on Tuesday. It was always a potential risk, but he had to come on probably a lot earlier than actually Michael O'Neill would have anticipated, and Cathcart is down in need of some treatment. He can't afford to lose another defender before that game on Sunday.
But he's just holding his groin at the minute, which is... seems to have a groin issue. You can see the physio stretching away there.
Watching a replay of Johnny Evans go, I mean, it kissed the post when it went in as well. It's almost a lot nicer in those circumstances, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
just feels a lot sweeter for the player who struck the ball.
I'm over the moon for Johnny because, I mean, he's never scored a goal like that, surely like that before. And just the way he's done it, the nonchalance he's done it, as if, it was a training game almost, the way he's pulled that ball out of the sky with his left leg.
Cathcart looks like he won't be able to continue here. So more injury woes for Northern Ireland and for Michael O'Neill. Paul Smith, the Queen's Park Rangers midfielder, is coming on, so it probably will mean a change of system now. And they're running out of defenders, Jerry Taggart. Have you got your passport ready for Sunday?
No. Fortunately. But no, listen. Again, so he's got Evans, he's got McNair. Smith will probably have to come on and do a job defensively somewhere in that back line. We'll just have to wait and see where he fits in. And as he puts Hume into the centre half position, he stayed out there. So yeah, looks like Smith's gone to right back.
More unwanted headaches for Michael O'Neill as he bids to do the impossible, really. There's been a nasty collision inside the centre circle. Josh McGuinness was the Northern Ireland player involved. I think the Slovenian counterpart came off worse from that clash of heads. Brekalo is down. Didn't look great at all.
No. They're just trying to make something happen. The ball's just bouncing around in the middle of the pitch. You're just desperate to try and make something happen. He's got his yellow card out of the game by the looks of it. He's just not looking at the ball, Josh. He's looking at the defender coming through. He just catches him either with his forearm or his elbow there. He makes the most of it, to be fair to him, the Slovenian defender. Brekalo.
And in fairness, both players back on their feet. I think the game's been playing in a good spirit, actually.
Oh, absolutely. There's only been really one bad challenge, and that was by Isaac Price, who, I have to say I was quite surprised about.
13 to play. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2. Don't forget, we know Premier League this weekend. The EFL takes centre stage across the Talksport network. On Saturday, a double header from League 2. Bradford Grimsby, 12:30 commentary here on Talksport 2. That's followed by Wrexham against Doncaster at 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock over on Talksport on Saturday. We've got Ukraine against England on Sunday. Jerry and I will be reunited for Kazakhstan against Northern Ireland here on Talksport 2. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff.
It actually looks as if Shea Charge has got into that right back position, so
he's got that versatility to add to his many attributes. A few people raised eyebrows when Southampton paid so much money for potential. They did the same with Romeo Lavia a year ago, and he's just been sold to Chelsea for £58 million.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that, obviously they do the homework on players in regards to, their personalities, their home life, and that's when you're spending that amount of money, then you have to make sure that you've got all the I's and cross all the T's. But I think it's a shrewd bit of business.
Northern Ireland have a throw over on the far side. The makeshift right back Shea Charles takes it, plays it down the line. Headed only as far as McCann in midfield, but they can't make it stick here. Northern Ireland, and Spora try to set Sheshko away. In the end, Northern Ireland smuggled the ball back to the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell, who had a bit of a hospital ball out from the back to Hume. And it's back now on the halfway line for a Northern Ireland free kick after a foul by Brecalo. They need a goal, and they need it, I would suggest, in the next 4 or 5 minutes, Northern Ireland, if they are to keep alive their hopes of snatching an unlikely point.
Yeah, and these are the types of situations where they have to maximise. He's done well, got the free kick. They have to try and make these count.
There's Hume on the left-hand side, back to the captain Evans. Northern Ireland taking their time here with the build-up. There in the end, thrust it forward. Headed on by McMenamin and kept in play by Washington. On the byline, Washington into McMenamin, who's maybe got the opportunity to cross here, but the door was closed quickly by Karnishnik, and in the end Northern Ireland settled for a corner.
Yeah, he's done well again there, McMenamin, forcing the corner. This time he's moved over to the left to receive that, where predominantly he's done his best work on that right hand side.
Corner to be floated in by Conor McMenamin from this near touchline. It's an out-swinging ball. Evans heads it down, and what an opportunity for Smith from 6 yards out on the swivel. Didn't make clean contact. In the end, it's just passed into the arms of Oblak.
Oh, what an opportunity. Difficult, yes. Should he have done better? Yes. Is it because he's just come on as a substitute? He's just a little bit cold. Time is not quite there. Great header down from Johnny Evans. Again, into that, a great area of the pitch where you want your striker. He's there, Smith, but he just can't get the right connection as he swivels onto that headed down pass.
Here's Hume, though, with a purposeful run forward. They're still in this game, Northern Ireland. They still believe, even 2 goals down with 9 minutes to play, that they can come back and claim a draw at least. Smith with a cross, dangerous one, headed goalwards, another big chance. McGuinness straight into the arms of the keeper.
Again, another good chance. Free header for Josh McGuinness. As you said, this time Smith showing lovely pace, lovely bit of skill, good quality on the cross, finds the head. Free header for McGuinness. He's about 8 yards out, looking for that far corner. Can only just knock it into the arms of Oblak.
2 big chances in the space of 2 minutes for Northern Ireland.
Absolutely. You're expecting Josh early, very, very good. You expect him to do better, at least make the keeper dive. Bit of a team effort in the end, but good play from Smith on that right hand side.
Here's Karnishnik playing the ball back to the halfway line. I think Slovenia now will just be trying to keep possession, run down the clock. Oh, Savil's been penalised for a foul there. I just Felt like Kanishnik held onto the ball for too long.
Yeah, he just got it stuck under his feet. Couldn't move it. Just see it here. He's just caught him.
It's a shame because they have men over there, Northern Ireland.
Yeah, just so frustrating for George. He just catches the back of his ankle and goes over. Referee buys it, gives it.
The last 5 meetings between these two, at least one of the teams has failed to score a single goal. Not tonight. 4-2 Slovenia. Their fans bouncing in the aisles. They know what a precious victory this will be for their own hopes of qualification for the Euros. Here's Smith, though, coming forward, low ball, looking towards Washington at the near post, steered away by Behold. Right place, right time for the Udinese man.
And good pace from Smith down the right-hand side. Just trying to slide a little low one, just inside that front post. As you say, big Behold just sticks out a big leg, gets it away.
Johnny Evans has come forward to attack this throw, which surely is going to be hurled into the area. McNair summoned from the back as well. Plenty of green shirts to aim at. And one of them is McMenamin, and again from 8 yards out, has to go down as a real opportunity, and he's headed it straight into Oblak's arms again.
Just watching it here. On his own, free header. Possibly he took it on his chest and hit it first time. The other's left, probably his right foot. Decides to go first time with a header. Not enough pace in it, not enough direction. Straight at the keeper again.
6 minutes to play. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2, and double change in the offing for the home side, probably just to get some fresh legs out there. Jura, Belkovic, and Jan Vipopnik, and the two players coming on, and the standing ovation is for Benjamin Šeško, scorer of what looks like a crucial goal, the third goal for Slovenia just before half-time, but all round he's been excellent. You can see why many of Europe's top clubs are keeping a very close eye on Benjamin Šeško. And the other player making his way off is the left-back, Eric Janza.
Just about to say, quality finish from Šeško. We've just seen it again now. I think Janza will be glad to see the back of first McMenamin and now Smith, so he'll be over the moon. He's off the pitch.
Still France 2, the Republic of Ireland 0 in Group B. The Netherlands lead Greece by 3-1. Poland have finally got the breakthrough in Group E against the Faroes that lead 1-0. It's the Czechs 1, Albania 1 in that group, and Denmark have a 4th goal now against San Marino. Denmark 4, San Marino 0 in this group. Finland winning 1-0 at Kazakhstan earlier in the evening. So as you were at the top, the gap between the top 3, Finland, Denmark and Slovenia, to the likes of Northern Ireland is getting bigger unless Michael O'Neill's side can find something late on here. McMenamin, after good play from Charles, into the penalty area, shoots right-footed on the curler. Good save this time by Oblak to his left.
Yeah, I thought he might have played that in first time. He was running on the lap pass from Shea Charles, had a chance to put it in first time. Decided to chop back onto his right foot. Good firm shot. Again, just slightly too close to the keeper.
Here's Smith attacking down the right, just ran out of pitch. It's behind for a goal kick, and the clock is against Northern Ireland now. Only 4 minutes plus stoppage time to play. They've had their chances, Jerry Taggart, in this second half.
Well, they've had 4. Okay, that was a half chance, this one, you have to say, from McMenamin. Does well to hit the target, force a save, but they've had 3 really good chances just before that. They're trying at least, you know, grab 1, if not 2 goals back, and they haven't done that, unfortunately.
It might go down as a night of regret for Michael O'Neill and his players. A night when they really needed to win the game, but at least avoid defeat to keep that flicker of hope and European qualification alive. And they simply have to win in Kazakhstan now on Sunday. That becomes a huge game on Talksport too.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I think you can take a lot of confidence. You know, there's a lot of positives to take out of tonight. Attacking wise, this is probably the best attacking performance I've seen for 2 years, I would say. You know, in regards to, you know, having chances on goal. Yes, they've scored the 2 goals. Could have scored 4 quite easily. You know, it hasn't happened, but you've got to take the positives out of every game when you can. Yes, there's negatives to take from this game as well as regards the defence, but as an attacking threat, Northern Ireland have been right up there this evening.
I guess the other negative, losing 2 more defenders to injury. No guarantee that Ballard will be back at the weekend either. Here's Hume, edge of the area. Helps the ball out to the left-hand side in McMenamin as we welcome listeners from Talksport. Hume with a cross into the Slovenian area, headed down and away. Still plenty of green shirts forward. They win a throw, Northern Ireland. Midway inside the Slovenian half, they trail by 4 goals to 2. Jerry Taggart, as you were just saying, a brilliant attacking display at times, but defensively, more questions than answers for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, which has been the opposite in recent times, you have to say. You know, we talked about earlier, really solid defensively going into this game. Tonight, just hasn't been the case, but attacking-wise, some real big positives to take out of this game.
90 seconds to play. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2. It's Northern Ireland in possession on the halfway line with McCann. Good cross into the penalty area and the darting run across the defender from McGuinness, who's asking the question if he was impeded by Behold. I think the defender got just enough of the ball to make up the referee's mind.
It was a lovely cross, wasn't it? George Saville trying to thread it through the eye of the needle. Almost finds McGuinness, who again makes a good crossfield run across the face of the goalkeeper, across towards that near post. Just cannot get any kind of quality on the pass though. But again, Northern Ireland just showing good attacking threat there against, you know, down that left-hand side. Really encouraging to see.
And Slovenia making another change here. Lovric has come on for Elshnik. Sandy Lovric. Russian ex-Austria under-21 international before changing allegiance. Plays at Udinese, another of the Italian-based players in the Slovenian side. That one, I think, was just to run down the clock, and we've got 5 added minutes at the end of the 90 here on Talksport 2. Still time for chances to be made. That's certainly what Michael O'Neill will be saying anyway.
Yeah, he'll be pushing till the end, Michael. Can we finish with Fleury? The shot's on goal. You know, I think it's important. I think it's really important that they, even if they lose this game, that they finish off trying to play football the right way and, you know, trying to be positive in their play.
Free kick for Northern Ireland just inside their own half. Johnny Evans, the captain, in a hurry to take it. It's played down the near touchline to Hume. We've played one of the 5 added minutes already. Saville infield to Evans. And here's Paddy McNair, the 2 former Manchester United teammates combining on halfway for Northern Ireland. Played out to Smith on the right in the bright yellow boots. Smith, and he's poked the ball into the area, and Washington forced away from goal. Still has possession inside the box. Here's McCann arriving on the right corner of the penalty area. Decent delivery towards the far post of Hume. He's been penalised for a foul. And you wonder, will that be the last clear-sighted goal that Northern Ireland get in this game?
Yeah, it was unfortunate, wasn't it? Quality cross coming in there from Shea Charles. Absolutely rips one in there from that right-hand side. As you see, you've got Hume coming in, trying to get on the end of it. And the defender just goes to the ground. Can't see what actually happened. The referee gives a free kick, but again, good positive play. You know, Washington making an inside channel run to receive that, gets the support he needs, initially from Smith, then from Che Charles, who whips in that cross. Good attacking move.
I wonder if both McGuinness and Washington, who have looked lively since coming on, maybe in the starting lineup in Astana on Sunday. Certainly Michael O'Neill looks like he's going to have to make one or two enforced changes due to picking up more injuries this evening. Slovenian fans in good voice around the stadium as we move deep into stoppage time. That's a high foot by McCann. It's going to be another Northern Ireland yellow card. The Slovenian player, having just come on, Lovric has stayed down, a chance to eke away a few more seconds. Third Northern Ireland booking of the night. He was late, Jerry.
Yeah, he's just caught him on the inside of the knee there. Didn't look too bad initially, but when you see it on the replay, it's just followed through. He won the ball, but followed through and caught him on the inside of the knee. And he's gone to the ground. He's okay, the Slovenian player. Just obviously making the most of that.
The fans are certainly making the most of their evening now. Big win for Slovenia. Another body blow for Northern Ireland, their hopes of reaching another European Championships. And they've only got 90 seconds of the 5 added minutes to find the 2 goals they need to salvage a draw here. They aren't in possession. It's with Slovenia down their right-hand side. Stojanovic still full of running. So too Spora, still chasing that hat-trick, but he's given it away. Here's Spora though on the edge of the area. The goalkeeper's committed. He's got round Peacock Farrell again. Spora for the treble, off the line. Well, Johnny Evans was the last man back. I think McGuinness actually got a touch on it to divert it away from goal. Again, they were masters of their own downfall, Northern Ireland, having conceded possession. Peacock Farrell in no man's land. I think it is Johnny Evans who got the final touch. Incredible clearance from the captain to deny a certain goal.
I gave him a lot left foot of his. You know, as you say, Northern Ireland all over the place there defensively. Peacock Farrell.
Where was he?
I don't know what he was trying to do, but Johnny Evans is saviour.
Corner for Slovenia, played into the area, headed away by Evans again, picked up by Smith. One last attack for Northern Ireland maybe. He's been fouled, Smith. There's going to be a Slovenian yellow card right at the end of the game.
He's looked lively, young Smith, since he's come on.
Brekalo it was who conceded the free kick and got the booking.
And not before time either.
Seconds to go now. Time running out for Northern Ireland, not just tonight, but in terms of qualification as well. They're going to need to rally themselves in Kazakhstan on Sunday, because the full-time whistle has blown. It's a 4th successive defeat for Michael O'Neill. His honeymoon return to the top job in Northern Ireland is quickly turning into a bit of a nightmare. They were behind after 3 minutes. Andres Spora giving Slovenia the lead, cancelled out 4 minutes later by Isaac Price's first ever Northern Ireland goal, only for Petar Stojanovic to put Slovenia 2-1 in front on 17 minutes. It was a frantic start to the game, and it only got more frantic. Benjamin Šeško with 3 minutes the first half remaining, with what really was the killer goal as far as Northern Ireland are concerned. Johnny Evans, on his 102nd international cap, gave O'Neill's men hope. 9 minutes into the second half, only for Spora to break away and score his second and Slovenia's 4th 2 minutes later. Chances are plenty, Jerry Taggart. How do you start to pick the bones out of that one?
I think first and foremost, performance-wise for Northern Ireland, I think good performance tonight. They created lots of chances, lots of shots on goal, especially later on the last second half. Young Smithy, come on, I thought was excellent. Conor Miniman, constant thorn in the Slovenian side this evening, so well done them too. Obviously big questions to be answered about the back line tonight. Far too easy for Slovenia, even though, you know, they do have top quality in that front line with Spora and Šeško, but Northern Ireland, with the experience they had, should really be doing better than that. So big questions on that, but you know, they have to remain positive. They have to take those positives into the game on Sunday, which you rightly say is going to be a massive task.
They're getting a big ovation, the Northern Ireland players, from the travelling supporters. I think they will, like you, have seen encouraging signs going forward, but defensively they lost 2 more players to injury.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be another patched up back line at the weekend. That is a concern.
Yeah, again, it's a big issue for Michael O'Neill. He'll be desperate to try and get Dan Ballard back, some kind of fitness for that game. He's with the squad. Obviously, he didn't get changed. He wasn't in the match day squad, but he's travelled here with the squad, so we'll have to keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, big issues at the back for Michael O'Neill.
My thanks to Jerry Taggart for his expert analysis tonight. Don't forget, we have commentary from Astana. Big game for Northern Ireland now. If they're to stand any chance of making the Euros, they take on Kazakhstan live here on Talksport 2 on Sunday lunchtime. But it's been a chastening evening in Ljubljana. It's finished Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2. And coming up next on Talksport 2, it's the Rugby World Cup show.